If every choice you make has already been decided before you even realize it, are you truly free to shape your own destiny? Imagine believing you are the captain of your ship, yet the wheel has been turning long before your hands touched it. You think you choose the salad over the burger. You promise yourself you will wake up early. You plan to skip the dessert. But then you find yourself halfway through a donut with no memory of deciding to eat it. This is not just weakness or lack of discipline. It may be something much deeper, hidden in the layers of your mind. Scientists have uncovered a startling truth through Benjamin Libet's groundbreaking experiment, showing that your brain's readiness potential fires nearly half a second before you consciously know you are about to act. That means your subconscious could be pulling the strings, deciding your actions before you can even form a thought about them. Picture Thomas, a driven marketing executive in New York, swearing he will start his diet tomorrow, yet at exactly 9 a.m., he reaches for a donut without a flicker of hesitation. It feels automatic, almost mechanical, as if some invisible force had already decided for him. How many times have you promised yourself to stop a habit, change a behavior, take control only to find yourself slipping back into the same cycle? How often have you felt powerless against urges you could not explain? This is the silent struggle that traps millions, the battle between your conscious will and the hidden programs running beneath it. And if these unseen patterns truly guide your life, what does that mean for your freedom, your goals, your dreams? If you have ever caught yourself acting against your own intentions, there is a reason you need to understand. Comment "I want to know WHY" right now, because this moment could mark the turning point in your journey. The real question you must ask yourself is simple yet unsettling. What truly controls your decisions before you even think? The subconscious mind, the hidden prediction engine within you, is holding the wheel, guiding countless actions without you even noticing. It operates quietly beneath the surface, drawing from a vast reservoir of memories, learned experiences, and deeply ingrained patterns, functioning like an autopilot that steers your daily life. You may believe you are consciously deciding each move, yet research from Harvard reveals that up to 95% of the decisions you make each day originate from this unseen system. Imagine a ship navigating through familiar waters without the captain giving direct orders, relying instead on routes charted long ago. Your subconscious maps were written by years of repetition, emotional moments, and environmental triggers. And now they run without requiring your active consent. This is why a nurse named Sarah in Texas dreamed of learning to play the piano, even bought a beautiful instrument. But every evening, almost without thought, she reached for the remote and turned on the television, following the same routine she had maintained for over 20 years. Her longing for change was real, yet her ingrained habit overpowered her conscious desire. Not through force, but through familiarity. The subconscious mind thrives on what is known, favoring comfort over uncertainty, protecting you from perceived risks while simultaneously locking you into cycles that may no longer serve you. When you are in this automatic mode, your life is guided by reflexes shaped long before you even considered altering them. It is not laziness or lack of ambition. It is the brain's remarkable efficiency at conserving energy by repeating well-practiced behaviors. But this efficiency comes with a cost, as it can quietly hold you back from growth, opportunity, and the fulfillment of your deeper aspirations. Recognizing this influence is the first step toward reclaiming the wheel, because until you see how often you are operating in this programmed state, you cannot hope to override it. If you can recall moments when you acted on impulse, repeated old habits, or sabotaged your own plans without fully understanding why, you have witnessed your subconscious in action. It is a master navigator, skilled at anticipating your next move before you consciously choose it. If you realize you are also running on autopilot, type "I am awake now," because that single act of awareness can spark a profound shift. The Question that now arises is critical to your freedom and transformation. How can we break free from this automatic mode and take deliberate control of our path? By stepping into the early choice moment and redirecting it, you can interrupt the cycle before it tightens its grip. This approach works by spotting the subtle cues that signal an action is about to unfold. Often just a fleeting thought, a shift in mood, or a sensation in your body. These signals are the earliest footprints of your subconscious moving into autopilot. And if you can catch them, you can steer in a different direction before the automatic response locks in. Scientists at the University of Massachusetts have shown through mindfulness research that practicing moment-to-moment awareness can significantly reduce the brain's tendency to react without conscious input. This is not about forcing change through sheer willpower, but about placing yourself in the tiny space between impulse and action. A space that is often only seconds wide, yet holds the power to alter the outcome entirely. Consider the story of John, a former Marine in Florida who once struggled with a relentless pull toward alcohol. For years, he felt powerless against sudden cravings, which would arrive like waves and sweep him away before he even realized what was happening. Then he learned a simple but transformative technique. Whenever the urge hit, he would pause for 10 seconds, focusing on his breathing, feeling the sensation without moving toward it. This small act broke the automatic sequence, giving his conscious mind the chance to step in and choose differently. Over time, those pauses rewired his responses, and the grip of his old habit weakened. You too have the capacity to reclaim these moments. It begins with awareness, training yourself to notice the early spark before the flame ignites into full behavior. This can be as simple as recognizing tension in your chest before you speak sharply, or the quick image of a snack before you reach for it. In that instant, you are presented with a choice that feels new, because it is no longer dictated by a script written long ago. If you are ready to practice this and learn how to insert yourself into your own decisions before they run away from you, comment "Stop now," because awareness paired with action is the first step toward deep change. The pressing question that follows is this: how can we turn a single captured moment into a life-altering turning point? By becoming a conscious observer, you turn potential into reality. When you direct your attention with intention, you are not just watching life happen, you are influencing the path it takes. This is more than a metaphor. It mirrors one of the most intriguing discoveries in quantum physics, in the famous double-slit experiment. Particles behaved differently when they were being observed, shifting from a wave of possibilities into a specific outcome. Your mind works in a similar way. Because the act of focusing on a certain possibility strengthens its presence and increases the likelihood of it becoming your lived experience. When you do not consciously observe, your subconscious steps in to choose for you, often repeating the same familiar outcomes it has selected before. But when you shift your gaze toward a new possibility, you disrupt that default pattern. Emily, a teacher from California, once believed that applying for a scholarship was beyond her reach. Her thoughts were filled with barriers, doubts, and reasons she would fail. Yet, when she consciously chose to look for opportunities instead of obstacles, she uncovered a funding program perfectly suited to her needs. Her application was accepted, and the path she once thought was closed suddenly became her reality. This is the power of observation with awareness, the ability to influence which version of events you experience. Attention is like a spotlight, and wherever you aim it, the details sharpen while everything else fades into the background. This is why those who train themselves to notice opportunities, solutions, and openings tend to encounter them more often. It is not magic. It is alignment between what you consistently observe and the actions you take as a result. The shift begins by asking yourself what you want to see more of, then choosing to bring it into focus repeatedly, especially in moments when the old patterns try to pull your attention away. If you want to see your life differently, type "I am the observer now," because this single act of claiming awareness could be the start of a new trajectory. The deeper question remains, one that will decide how far you can go from here. How can we transform the entire internal program so that we consistently select a new reality? By stepping into the role of the version of yourself you most want to become, you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you seek, making it far more likely to manifest. This is the essence of the law of assumption, a principle that goes beyond simply visualizing your goals. It invites you to live, feel, and behave as if the desired outcome has already taken place. Science supports this concept through fascinating research on mental rehearsal, where participants who only imagined performing strength training exercises still experienced measurable muscle growth, despite never physically lifting a weight. The brain responds to vividly imagined experiences in a way that mirrors actual events, wiring new neural pathways and signaling the body to adapt as though those experiences were real. Michael, a college student in Ohio, embraced this idea fully. Though he had no company or business background, he began acting as if he were already a successful entrepreneur. He dressed with intention, spoke with confidence, surrounded himself with ambitious peers, and made decisions from the mindset of someone running a thriving enterprise. Within 2 years, he launched a startup that grew into a $1 million venture, a direct result of living in alignment with the identity he had assumed long before it existed in the physical world. This practice shifts the focus from waiting for change to embodying it now, which in turn influences the subconscious to create opportunities and responses that match the assumed identity. By living in the state of the wish fulfilled, your internal programs begin to prioritize actions and choices that move you toward that reality. It is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about conditioning your mind and body to recognize this version of you as normal, removing the resistance that comes from feeling it is out of reach. The more consistently you inhabit that state, the more naturally your external world reshapes to match it. If you are ready to start living as the person you dream of being, comment, "I am living my dream now," because claiming that identity in the present is the most powerful first step you can take. Yet one vital question still remains, one that will determine whether this transformation becomes lasting. What is truly stopping us from making this shift immediately? Procrastination and fear that have been programmed from the past are the silent chains holding you back from stepping into the life you want. These forces are not signs of weakness. They are the subconscious mind's overprotective defense system, built from memories of failure, rejection, or loss. They operate with one purpose: to keep you inside the boundaries of what is familiar, even if that familiar place is far from where you want to be. The fear of failing, of losing security, or of facing judgment can trigger the amygdala, a small but powerful part of the brain responsible for detecting danger. When it senses risk, it can activate a freeze response, stopping you from moving forward, even when the threat exists only in your imagination. This is why opportunities can appear right in front of you, yet you find yourself hesitating, rationalizing delays, or convincing yourself the timing is not right. Lisa, a single mother in Chicago, knew for years she wanted to open a bakery. She loved baking, dreamed of her own shop, and even had customers who encouraged her. But the fear of financial risk and the possibility of failing in front of her children kept her waiting for the perfect moment. That moment never came until one day she decided to take action despite the fear. Within a year, her bakery became a local success, and she realized the danger she had been avoiding was never as big as the regret she carried for waiting so long. Fear and procrastination are powerful, but they are not unbreakable. They are patterns learned and reinforced over time, and like any pattern, they can be disrupted. The first step is to recognize that your hesitation is not proof you cannot succeed, but a signal that your subconscious is trying to protect you from imagined harm. When you see it for what it is, you can choose a different response. If you are ready to shatter the chains of fear and step forward, even while your heart races, type, "I am courageous now," because declaring it is the first move toward breaking free. The question that follows is critical because it holds the secret to instant change in the moment of hesitation. What technique can help you overcome fear in just a few seconds? By slowing down, feeling, and acting immediately, you can intercept the early choice moment and redirect it toward the outcome you truly want. This three-step technique works because it inserts a conscious decision between the long subconscious impulse and the action it would normally trigger. Step 1 is to slow the mind through deliberate breathing. Take 6 deep, measured breaths, inhaling fully and exhaling slowly. Science shows that this simple act reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, and improves decision-making clarity. Step 2 is to anchor a positive state. As you breathe, bring to mind a moment when you felt confident, strong, or deeply at peace. Let that feeling spread through your body, replacing tension with assurance. This emotional shift is crucial because the mind makes different choices when it feels safe and empowered compared to when it feels threatened or rushed. Step 3 is to take a small, intentional action in the direction you want to go. It does not need to be dramatic, but it must be deliberate. This step signals to your brain that you are in control and sets a new pattern in motion. Robert, an athlete from Denver, used this exact method before a high-pressure competition. Instead of letting anxiety dictate his performance, he paused, took his 6 deep breaths, recalled the pride of a past victory, and then made the conscious choice to step onto the track with a calm but focused stride. That race ended with him winning a gold medal, not because the pressure disappeared, but because he had reclaimed the driver's seat in his own mind. The beauty of this approach is that it can be applied in any situation where you feel an automatic reaction taking over. Whether it is reaching for junk food, hesitating on an opportunity, or speaking in a way you later regret. The more often you use it, the more natural it becomes, training your subconscious to expect and support your conscious choices. If you want the full, detailed guide to mastering these 3 steps, comment 3 steps now, because learning this skill can change how you respond in the moments that matter most. Yet, even after mastering such a method, another question arises, one that will decide the depth of your transformation. Once you have changed, how do you maintain this empowered state for the long term? By repeating with intention until it becomes a new instinct. You reprogram the brain to operate from a fresh set of patterns that serve your goals instead of sabotaging them. This process is the foundation of lasting change because the subconscious learns through repetition, embedding actions and thoughts into automatic responses. Every time you consciously choose the new behavior, you strengthen the neural pathway associated with it, making it easier to follow the next time. Science supports this through research, showing it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. Though consistency matters more than speed, the key is to start small and stay steady, because massive overnight change often overwhelms the brain, triggering resistance. Amanda, a physician in Seattle, decided she wanted to shift her perspective toward gratitude and optimism. She began by spending just 5 minutes every morning writing down 3 things she appreciated. At first it felt like a task, but within weeks she noticed herself scanning for positive moments throughout the day so she could include them in her journal. Over time, this simple act rewired her focus, and she described the transformation as seeing life through a cleaner, brighter lens. Small actions repeated daily have the power to override decades of conditioning, especially when supported by an environment that encourages the desired change. This is why adjusting your surroundings can accelerate the process. Whether by removing triggers for old habits, placing reminders in your space, or surrounding yourself with people who reflect the mindset you want to adopt, The more you expose your mind to the new pattern, the faster it will feel natural. And once it feels natural, it becomes effortless. This is not about perfection, but about persistence, because every repetition is a vote for the identity you are building. Eventually, the behavior you once had to consciously choose becomes the default you live from without thinking. If you are ready to commit to this powerful practice, comment, "I commit now," because declaring your intention is the first step in solidifying it. The important question that remains, and one that can amplify everything you have learned so far, is this: how can we speed up this transformation so the new instinct forms even faster? By placing yourself in a supportive and inspiring environment, you amplify your ability to sustain change and accelerate growth. The people and surroundings you immerse yourself in act like invisible currents, either carrying you forward toward your vision or quietly pulling you back into old patterns. Studies have shown that you are strongly influenced by the 5 individuals you interact with the most, not just in habits, but in mindset, ambition, and belief systems. When you are surrounded by those who encourage progress, celebrate wins, and hold you accountable, your own standards naturally rise. Positivity and drive become contagious, and your subconscious begins to adopt the attitudes and behaviors it sees modeled every day. Jake, living in San Francisco, experienced this firsthand when he joined a mastermind group of like-minded diet professionals committed to personal and financial growth. They met regularly to share strategies, troubleshoot challenges, and push each other beyond comfort zones. In just 1 year, the energy and insights he gained from this circle helped him double his income, a result he had struggled to achieve on his own for years. The reason is simple. A strong environment not only supports your efforts, but multiplies them by giving you consistent reminders of what is possible. It shields you from the negativity and doubt that can erode motivation, replacing them with examples of success and the encouragement to keep going even on difficult days. This is why intentionally curating your community is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Seek out those who are already living in the direction you want to go. People who challenge you to grow, inspire you to aim higher, and celebrate the steps you take along the way. The more time you spend in this kind of space, the more naturally you will align with its energy. If you are ready to find and connect with such a community, comment "I have teammates now," because declaring it opens the door to a network that can transform your journey. And as you consider this final piece, one question should ignite your imagination and urgency, because it holds the key to immediate momentum. What will happen if you start today? You will open a new door, not tomorrow, but right now, because the moment you choose to act is the moment everything begins to shift. This is the culmination of your journey, moving from awareness of the subconscious patterns controlling your life to intercepting those early choice moments, to becoming the conscious driver of your actions, and then sustaining that new state until it becomes your natural way of being. Every step you have taken in thought today has prepared you for this exact instant. Science shows that decisions made within the first 5 seconds of feeling the urge to act have an 80% higher chance of being carried out compared to those delayed, because hesitation invites doubt and fear to re-enter. This is why seizing the present is so powerful. It leaves no room for the old programming to take back control. David, living in Los Angeles, experienced this truth when he watched a short video that sparked his determination. Instead of saving the idea for later, he grabbed his phone and sent a direct message applying for a position at his dream company. 2 weeks later, he was hired, not because the opportunity was rare, but because he acted before the window closed. Right now, you are standing in the same kind of moment, a window where you can choose to solidify the transformation you have envisioned through each step we have explored. From recognizing hidden influences, to interrupting automatic cycles, to embodying your desired identity, to surrounding yourself with an empowering environment, it has all been leading here. What you do in this slice of time will set the tone for the reality you experience next. If you are ready to take your first conscious intervention into an early choice moment, comment "I create" and like this video immediately, because that single move signals to your mind that you are no longer waiting for change. You are initiating it. Thank you for choosing to stay with this message among millions of others you could have watched. Your presence here is not random. It is the choice of someone actively shaping their own life. And that choice is the beginning of everything you desire from this moment forward.